All right. Thank you, everyone that is watching us right now. My name is Male Del Gracious, and we're on this platform to share a lot, to share the dire situation that is happening in Uganda, as said by one of my hosts, one of my panelists that I'm going to be having today, all on the show. I'm having Clinton Ampaire, CEO, the face behind Ampaire Mirrors, a platform that is giving a voice to the voiceless, as he says. Then he's a noob mobilizer. He's a noob mobilizer based in Canada. So we're having him on the show. He's live from Canada, and we're going to be talking about the dire situation, human rights violations in Uganda. How comes Uganda came to this stage? How do we, stop this? Who is gonna be stopping this? Who are those leaders that we're going to be asking those hard questions? So Ampaire, please say hello to the viewers tonight, then we start from there.
Okay, thank you so much, moderator. I greet you all. I believe in your time it must be good evening, and on my side it is a good afternoon. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm happy to be with you guys. Thank you.
Okay, let's start from this point. How comes you ended up in Canada? What went wrong?
Well, of course, one of the main stake I would say that due to my political beliefs, and resulted to be where I am as of now. Because why am I trying to talk about my political beliefs? That being an opposition supporter back home and a human rights activist still back home in our country, it resulted me to be here because, as we all understand, that the regime do not coordinate or work with the opposition. The opposition, I'm not trying to mean the only political parties, but I'm still also meaning anybody or any organization that opposes what the government tries to brand as the way how they want to make it. So it resulted me to be in Canada. So I fled Uganda because of my life, to save my life, and also continue to add more journey towards liberating our country from the hands of dictatorship. And however much I'm a victim, have been oppressed, arrested, tortured, I had to flee a bit so that I can also put my life on the safety as I try to make sure that I continue fighting and raising more voices and concern towards to the International Human Rights Watch and other organizations at large.
Okay. Talking about the human rights, you've been a vocal person. You've been a vocal person when it comes to human rights violations. As you know, you've done a lot of groundwork, paperwork, and you released a lot of articles to the international community. What really happened? What went wrong from your point of view? Because the way you see Uganda now is you see the Uganda that is, there is no freedom of speech, there is no freedom, nobody is allowed to talk about the current junta, as you may say. So what went wrong for Uganda to go to such a stage?
Well, as we all understand that the results as a product of human rights violation, it is always caused by with the dictatorship or any governance that is holding position of dictatorship. So the point at a certain point where you find that the leadership or the certain leadership which is in certain government does not willingly option to hand over power peacefully and also continues to rule citizens under oppression, I think under gunpoint. I think that's what the moment. This is where the state we are as Ugandans at large, being that we even our human rights are being oppressed and being affected. So we believe that also what has caused all this is not only me who's speaking at the moment, but also we have very many Ugandans who have fled to Europe, to other parts of the world, and what the government is calling that these people are moving out of the country to seek for having more, I call it a bread, which is at times it is not true, because but all this has been caused that because of the government that we have and does not willingly wish to hand over power peacefully, and also is not looking at actually even giving Ugandans hope that there is a change to come. And any young youth, as we understand that Uganda is one of the countries in the world with the highest young youth population, almost 78%. And with all these 78%, they have been groomed and they have been raised under one government, which as young youth that have seen that it's enough is enough, and more young youth need opportunity also to be able to transform the country based on what they have researched, on what they have seen outside there, the development, the infrastructure, the economic transformation they have seen, because we believe that the 78% young youth have actually, most of them have experienced either by watching or hearing or even seeing physically the economic transformation of other neighboring countries. When you look at Rwanda, of course, we understand the Uganda relations with Rwanda is more a little bit close, but familiarization by when we try to familiate it in a way that the other government and this government. But still, when you look at the other side, they are running so fast. Now, when you also look at the Kenya or neighboring countries and so forth and so on. So, as I go back to your question, moderator, is that the existing government not willingly to hand over or to let other young youth rule the country, and also give more opportunities in other government sectors. It has actually made people feel like they are being oppressed and they are being ruled by authoritarians. They are being. That's why that is what is causing torture. That is what is causing abductions. That is causing a lot of stuff. And all this, of course, if you are out there watching, of course, you have to expect that we have. It has to. That is the end. That's the stake where we are. We have to end up the young youth with high knowledge, with high with the high projection they have in terms of life development, then they have to end up running out of the country because of being oppressed, because of being silenced on whatever they talk about, but which is true, as we all understand that what is true. So you come out, you speak what is truth, and you actually resist on it, and 2 3 4 days you are disappeared, and after being disappeared, then you are taken as like how they did to me. You are taken, you are injected with a certain chemical you cannot understand, you are whipped, you are, because of just saying no, I think this is wrong, no, this is the way how the government should be doing, or this is the way how government should not be doing. So I think that's what is making us result to be in this state where we are, and what results us to end up running out of our country that we love that much. Yes. Well, where we are as of now, because we have also looked into the side of, before you answer, when you look at the on the side of our friend Dr. Kiza Besige, he's also among the founding members of actually the governance, the political the political movement in Uganda. When you look at the Manyam Shegas, you look at others, of course. That's what I was saying. That Amanyam Shega, as Amanyam Shega, he did his good job, and by the moment, because it depends, as I already said, that Uganda is 78 young youth. Amanyam Shega, he did his part, and as how he did his part, he reached on a point that, you know what, he sees that things were moving in a way that are not supposed to be moving, but we all come back to our sense of understanding that every humanity has the way how they believe and how they understand things. Because when you look at these scenarios that Amanyam Shega in 2006, he decided to join the FDC. And coming in, one of the reasons why he had to join FDC was actually that he had seen things in the NRM that he had been working with, that things were actually operating not on the 10-point program that they came in. So that is one of the reasons that he decided as himself to take a step away and actually join another party that he thought it could take to oppose the government. But as we come forward, that Mr. Museveni and his people, they have managed to actually make sure that depower the FDC to the point where it is that even if it has members, they are still not creating any impact. They are not creating any impact, and that's why me as a grandson, I'm saying no. If you went to the FDC and you have done whatever you have done as you, and the FDC, we see it where it is as with its political members. And no, we are saying that no, for us, we are not joining FDC. For us now, we are joining National Unity Platform, because one of the reasons that we joined the National Political Platform as a National Unity Platform, was that it is a party that is where many young youth are believed to be in, and they see hope. And due with the fact that it is being led by a young youth, we believe our hopes is in him. When it comes to that is on a political issue, we believe that he has the capacity, with the fact that he has been able to understand the total grassroots problem of Ugandans as of now. We believe that, so that's why we had to leave the other side. And when I come back to the point as why I personally decided it, I think the right answer I can give you at that point is that for me personally, I could not join the FDC, although my family background, most of them are part of FDC. Is that for me, I wanted to see things moving in and so quick. So that is one of the reasons. Sorry, that is one of the reasons as to why I had to take that transition for where I think that there is hope, much more hope compared to where we are as of you are delivering. As of what I think. So my belief to the National Unity Platform is that because we are young and we are powerful enough, and because we also believe that we have seen that Ugandan as young youth, we have more capacity to transform, because if 78% is making up the country, and if actually 78% dream is met, then that is economical transformation. That is infrastructure transformation, because they love their country. And we believe that if the 78% their dreams are met, that means that the Uganda we believe in, that's a sign of liberation of democracy. That's a sign of deliberating our country back to the democracy line. So yeah, that is what I can say on that line. To ask questions for it. Yeah.
Talking about the National Unity Platform, the formation, in the last election cycle, Mr. Museveni, the president of Uganda, said that by 2026 there won't be any opposition. Very many people are very skeptical on the strength of Mr. Bobby Wine, your president, Mr. Chagulanyi, to uproot President Museveni in power, because almost every system is basically working very hard to make sure he stays or he's in power. So if Mr. Museveni said the last election cycle that there is no opposition in Uganda, who tells you, where do you get the belief that Bobby Wine will be a serious contender to remove the dictator, as you say?
Well, it is very well understood that Mr. Museveni is a person that who, at his age, he believes that Uganda should be a monarchy, and it should be ruled by his decisions with his family, and he does not care. Ugandans, they have to understand that Mr. Museveni, where he is, he no longer care about you. He no longer care. He doesn't care. So that's why he believes in monarchy. So Museveni's tactics of ruling, that is the point why actually he came with 10-point programs, and he's no longer ruling on the 10-point program. So he has, if we go to to analyze most of his statements that he has been using since 1986, from 1986 to date, they have definitely fluctuated. So they have definitely changed in different cycles. So my point is that Museveni saying that there is no, in 2026 there is no going to be political parties. Museveni himself, before any other person, he need to understand that Uganda is for the people of Uganda, and it is not a country of his house. It is not his house in general. And whereas he may state whatever way statements he wishes to state, but we wish to let him know that he need to prepare himself, because we are no longer intimidated by his points and his rule of law, and he has failure to do the rule of law, and we are no longer being intimidated with his aspect on the way how he's looking at things. What we are on a mission, we are no longer escalating about what we need to talk on, what we not need to talk. As 78% youth, we need to see Museveni go, whether peacefully or not peacefully, because I think I want you to look at the sector of the state of the nation as of the moment, and you wonder what exactly Mr. Museveni and his colleagues, what are they actually ruling? What are they ruling? When you look at the infrastructure of the country, when you look at the economical state of the country, it's really alarming. It's really alarming, that to the point that actually now Ugandans, other than being growing financially, going upwards, the Ugandans actually are going, they are capsizing. They are capsizing in terms of the economical development. They are capsizing in terms of health infrastructure, construction of the health infrastructures. It is capsizing in all areas generally. And what Mr. Museveni and his group looking at, what they're focusing on, is actually to continue sacking. They are sacking more and more what could be helping the Ugandans, because I have been told that actually now there is even more taxation that is prepared to be coming in different areas of sector, actually in the general sectors of the country. But at the end of the day, we wish to let Mr. Museveni that it's not about the statement he gives out, whether His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi is going to rule or not. He should leave that decision in the hands of the people of Uganda to make a decision, and if he does not still comply in that way, the world is watching, and the more he has oppressed Ugandans, its time is going to reach, and I think which we are already at, and he will go. It does not matter which statements he used or not. We are saying that one Uganda, one people, one movement, and it all based on the people power And no, not Museveni's monarchy, not Museveni's family. It's not Museveni's family this time. So
Okay.
that's how it's going to be projected.
Okay, let's talk about the way the NUP, all the People Power supporters behave. Very many people here in Uganda feel like NUP supporters are so radical, they're so vulgar, and everyone is really scared to give Bobby Wine the power, because if he's not in power right now and his supporters are so bitter, they abuse everyone. What if
Let
he
me
gets
correct
power?
you. Let me intervene in that. I think that is not true. I think that is not true, and we definitely understand how Museveni and his hooligans, I would say it in that way in air, how they operate, because we have always emphasized, if you analyze our rallies, most especially the recent rallies we have been having, when you look at them, but when you go for the total analysis, before we go to the national tour we had, and you tell me if there is any report that was reported anywhere that the supporters of National Unity Platform either caused or did anything wrong, you can really come out and prove it. So it is not our supporters that who are causing any alarming or destroying, as I heard Mr. Museveni saying that that the National Unity Platform supporters, they are just they are problem creators. They do destruction. They steal people's property. I think that is a diversion of Mr. Museveni, what he normally do, because we definitely know. We know that whenever we have a congregation, wherever we have a unity, we are trying to discuss on national matters as the party. I think Museveni has always sent his boys. It doesn't matter whether his boys are in the uniform or not uniform, because we definitely understand. We have already seen guns moving to assassinate His Excellency Robert Chagulanyi. You have seen it not once, not twice, not even 3 times. So if the country is really looking at it, I think they should do deep analysis on who causes that and who does not cause it. What I can finally say on that view is that is completely not true, and that is a propaganda that Museveni continue putting into Ugandans to understand, because we all know that Mr. Museveni has a rule where he practices divide and rule. We all know that, from east to west, central to wherever the counterparts. We all understand that Museveni is one-way ruling of tactics. It is a divide and rule. So it is absolutely not true, and I don't think that there is any proof out there that can prove that our supporters have been coming out terrorizing or destroying people's properties. I have not heard about that, but we have definitely understood that it has always been spoken, but we call that propaganda, and it is not true. It is not true. Yes, that it is not true completely. It is Museveni's people. It is Museveni's people he bring in, as he's always doing, because he's always fighting with social media anchors. He's always fighting with every person. That's why you see that actually the leader, he has totally failed the state. And our Uganda is right now, Uganda is a failed state. You tell me any development. Now the airport, the national airport, it was taken by Chinese. It is been said that even this, you wait for this Hoima International Airport, which is being constructed. So when you look at the road of Entebbe Expressway, it's a road which is considered, actually before, I think now it's not, but before it was one of the most expensive roads in the world. But when you look at the road, has no lights, accidents, it is day and night, people are losing life every day. Me myself, my car at the express, it banged the road brake in that way. You see, there's no lights, there is nothing. So it is the way how he keeps diverting Ugandans by putting them that this one is bad, the other one is right, the other one is bad, and he continues sucking the money, the country's economy. He continues investing in other countries, Democratic Republic of Congo. He continues investing in the Republic of Rwanda, and that's what he keeps doing. He takes the taxpayers' money. He continues looking at, We have children in northern Uganda. We have children in the streets of roads of Kampala. But you can imagine there is money that is being given out for big boys to buy big cars, driving big cars, driving what? And yet there are children suffering on the roads. So what kind of Uganda is that? So it is propaganda of Mr. Museveni, and I don't think that Ugandans can even take any more this kind of nonsense. I would call it nonsense,
Okay.
because that is his governance.
Okay. Let's talk about your president, Mr. Chagulanyi. He's on a tour, and part of his tour is called Labisa, literally meaning show all the bad deeds that the government is doing. Plus you, by the way, you're also doing that work of telling the international community about the atrocities, the UN, the embassies, maybe in Canada, maybe in the US. You're trying to do this kind of work, informing these organizations. Don't you know that these are the right people? These are these are the people that fund the regime.
Well, we will say that was before, but we believe that the moment, the time we actually, all Ugandans, we first and foremost appreciate Ugandans who have used their social media to report Mr. Museveni at all levels of International Human Rights Watch, at ICC, at all other levels that we believe. We first of all, we want to thank you all Ugandans. But I would say that the reason why we have reached at this point is what we are saying, that the Ugandans have tried, because no one who does not actually understand that the previous elections were rigged by Mr. Museveni. Everyone understands that. The Ugandans have tried their level best to use a peaceful vote, a peaceful way of changing the government in Uganda. But when you look at the stake where it is that forcefully behind the force that has continued, whether the Ugandans vote rightly or not rightly, they have continued still to rig the elections. And I would say that we are taking this to another level, because that's what we are saying, that no. Now, we have been reporting Mr. Museveni and his colleagues to the International Criminal Court, to the International Human Rights Watch, and other sectors, and actually to the United Nations. And when you look at the result, it has worked, because it has worked. That's why do you think Museveni is trying to collaborate with now the Saudi Arabia, is now collaborating with the Russia, is trying to collaborate with. He's in a point of state. He's in a point of state that actually our pushover towards his criminality, I would call it criminality, towards it is working, because I don't think Mr. Museveni is still being funded by IMF. I don't think Mr. Museveni is still being funded by World Bank. I don't think that right now Museveni is still, most of the, even today, last week, you can imagine Uganda, we have reached at a point, we are among the least, we are among the countries that are being pushed out of American market. But at the 78% young youth who would be producing products, exporting them from Uganda to North America and America. And what does that mean? What about? It's not only America. No. And who do you think is behind that? It's not America. It's all American allies. Because if America rejects products from Uganda, it's America, it's Canada, it's British, it's the entire region. So it's not only America. So, but when you look at that, we have reached on that point, and Mr. Museveni can wake up and tell you, Uganda has enough, as you always say, Uganda has enough, we do not need anybody, but this side, he continue oppressing it. That is the result of our cause. Our cause, we are saying that if that step does not still work, then we are saying that no, enough is enough. You have seen what has happened between Israel and Palestine. You have seen what has happened in Israel and Palestine after 70 years of oppression, and now we are losing We are losing children, women, men, young and old, because of the same cause. And that's what is going to happen in Uganda if Museveni, if Museveni and his regime do not leave the country. And I don't think that he's going to listen, because we have already seen he has brought his son, even if he has not come out to announce it. But we believe that Museveni in 2026, he may not return, but he wants to bring his son in power. And that's what the monarch I'm talking about. So he has to understand that the more he continues oppressing Ugandans, the more the fire is. And the moment he fires any spark, it's not going to save his family, it's not his group, it's not going to save any of the grand and grandchildren. Happens at the end of it. So all what you are talking about, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, now we are being chased out of the American, all those is because of the voices of the people. Because there is no reason why America and other international human rights should actually, not even human rights, the IMF, the World Bank, there's no reason why they should come out to fund the dictatorship government. Even the money which they give out, it does not reach people. The money is taken away. The money is taken away, and we keep now in loans, and that's what we're experiencing. That's what we are going through, and that's what we are going through. Okay. So,
can we talk about Bobby Wine's capability when it comes to leadership? Because at the moment he is enjoying full support from the youth, but I think he's lacking the gap of the old people that are supporting the NRM and Mr. Museveni. So how will Bobby Wine galvanize all the support from the youth and our elders, because he needs it?
Well, before we go even very far, the national tour we had in 2 months time. Actually, it's just finished. We just concluded it on 5th of October when he was arrested at international airport. I would say that it has already shown. It only speaks itself, because I don't think that there are more questions, because by the moment the Ugandans have come out to support His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi, they believe that he's the right president. And two, with the fact that they also voted for him, however much the elections were rigid, we all understand that elections were rigid. We all understand. So we believe that by the moment Ugandans accepted to vote for him, we believe that Ugandans came to actually gather and show him support in this finished national tour. It means that really that shows that we have His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi has a lot of trust from Ugandans, and with the fact that Mr. Kyagulanyi is a highly educated in overseeing people's problem, and the fact that also President Robert Kyagulanyi is a young youth, as I already said, that on 78%, we believe that he has the capacity to rule the Republic of Uganda because of the youth, and is the youth. Not need an old person like Museveni. Why? We need somebody who understands the Uganda and the Ugandans, its problems. We do not need somebody who, and also if His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi comes in power when it is for advantage of his family, still the Ugandans are going not to accept that. That should be very clear. So we believe that Robert Kyagulanyi as His Excellency, we believe that one of the main reasons as Ugandans have entrusted him, is that they believe at the moment he's the young youth who can oversee the country's economy and actually help to boost the young youth, and young youth boost the economy. That's why one of the main reasons why we believe that Robert Kyagulanyi has the capacity to rule the country. That's one. The second reason we believe that Robert Kyagulanyi has the capacity to rule the country because he's a young youth. We don't need we don't need somebody who has no who has no uh, 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 who has no capacity. So only the support from the public shows that His Excellency Robert Chagunya has the capacity to rule the country. We saw that even during the time of the FDC, Dr. Kiza Besigye. We also know that still Mr. Museveni rigged the election, but now our policies and our structure plan as a national unity platform is not going to be like FDC. No. And that is our secret. It's our secret with our people. But I do not think, if Museveni thinks that he's going to treat the national unity platform as the way how he treated the Forum for Democratic Republic, for the FDC, it's not going to be. It's not going to happen.
Okay.
I have
Clinton, before I let you go, very many Ugandans are very worried that most activists usually run out of the country. You know, you have good points, you have viable points, you have the spirit and zeal to fight for your country. Why are you not in the country? Because Uganda would love to have you here in Uganda and fight for Uganda. Why do you tend to run out?
Very good question. I think this question I've had it several times. I would say that political activists and human rights activists who have run out of the country, one, I would like to let Ugandans know that they have not run out of the country because of their own will. Because these activists are against the regime ruling policies, and which has actually led to the life of activists be at risk. We have even lost some of them. Most of them have been killed. Some of them are still in prison. Some of them and have not been even brought into court. Some of them have disappeared. No one knows. They have never been seen. So we still have to save little that those who can manage to be saved. So if all get abducted and die and assassinated the way how Mr. Museveni and his son Muhoozi are doing with their drones, we believe that tomorrow's Uganda, it will lack. It will not just like it will lack. We need more voices, and it's so good for the fact that some activists who have got managed to go to the exile, because don't call this that we have moved out of the country peacefully. This is like being in exile. When someone is in exile, they have not moved out of their country willingly, but because they have been oppressed, and that oppression, they have got. Let's talk about those who are in prison. For those who have tried to stay, for those who have not run to their exile, they are in prison. They have never been produced in court. Some of them have been abducted and they have disappeared. Some of them, you leave alone those who are in prison. We have a total number of hundreds and hundreds who are still out of no trace, who are still, and even you saw the Human Rights Commission back recently in Uganda. It is also captured by the regime. It does not come out to speak. It cannot even defend anymore the Ugandans. So if the human rights has been is collapsing right now, and also operating on the powers of the boss of Mr. Museveni as a boss, so what happens to the human rights activists who are opposing the human rights way of operation back in Uganda? Because you saw the report they gave out recently. They said that it was definitely not based on not well best assessed, and even they did not help. You look at the judiciary. Recently, there's when I happened to have a gentleman who came from the other side, our friend coming to this side, that he was going to change the country using internal structure, but he has been capsized by the regime, our Minister of Justice. So our people back home, even they don't have justice. You can look at those things. Someone is arrested and put in prison, and even they deny him the rights of being released. Right. So I believe that Ugandans should understand that it's not like we have left the country because we have it is the best option and we have decided to defend Ugandans. Because let me before we conclude, let me give you a touch. The thing should be like this: if Ugandans who are human rights activists and political activists leave Uganda to other countries and they reach there and they be silenced, let's say they go mute, that would be questionable. That means that those political analysts and human rights activists, they are looking for a blade, they are looking for a better life. They are not minding about Ugandans. But if the human rights activist leaves Uganda and moves to another country for the purposes of safety and continues to raise the voice and empowering Ugandans at large to raise more voices in fighting dictatorship, in fighting monarchy, in fighting the rule of law, which Museveni is no longer following up right now. If the Ugandans are there and fighting, they are showing the international level that no, Uganda does not deserve ABCD because of someone doing so and so. I believe they are really doing a good job, and they should not be asking questions why they have left Uganda, but also to protect their lives. And they continue pushing their work as it is being done.
Okay, thank you so much, Clinton. Ladies and gentlemen, I was humbled to host one of the NUP mobilizers and activists based in Canada, and we've been talking a lot about the gross human rights violations in Uganda, basically, and what Mr. Ampaire is calling the junta in Uganda that really needs serious punishment from the international community. So Ampaire, I have to let you go. Thank you for your time. Hopefully I'll have you next time, and we dig deep in the issues concerning. We have very many issues when it comes to FD. Since you the grandson of Amanya Mushega, I think we shall get time and talk about what is really happening in the FDC. Do we even really have the FDC as an opposition leader, opposition party right now? All it is up to the dogs right now, to the NRM, as very many people are saying. So humble to have you. I'll get time and have you again to everyone that is gonna be watching this.